They told you your house was your greatest investment. They told you to chase the dream, the white picket fence, the two-car garage, the freshly mowed lawn. They told you to spend 30 years of your life working for it, financing it, defending it, but they never told you what it really was, a liability, a golden cage dressed in comfort and tradition. You see, the system is clever. It doesn't trap you with chains. It traps you with dreams. Dreams sold by agents, wrapped in marketing, endorsed by professors, and passed down like gospel by parents who simply didn't know better. But now you do. Because here's the brutal truth. An asset is not defined by how it looks or what it's called. It's defined by the direction of your cash flow. If it takes money from you, it's a liability. If it gives money to you, it's an asset. It's not personal. It's mathematical. It's truth. And truth doesn't care about your feelings. Edison didn't invent the light bulb by feeling good about darkness. He did it by understanding what didn't work. Over and over again. And most people are living in financial darkness, repeating what doesn't work, thinking this time it'll be different. But it won't be. Not until you change what you value. Not until you change how you see. Not until you stop chasing things that look like wealth and start building the systems that generate it. Look closely at your life. Look at your house, your car, even your relationships, and ask one hard, unforgiving question. Does this take money from my pocket or put it in? That's the line that separates the rich from the poor. That's the formula that isn't taught in school, yet governs your financial reality more than any diploma ever could. Because the truth is, the game was never about salary. It was always about flow. Money doesn't care how smart you are. It doesn't care if you have a PhD. It doesn't care if you stayed up late or got there early. Money flows toward those who understand its nature, and it flees from those who try to possess it without wisdom. That's why the poor spend, the middle class borrow, but the rich acquire. They acquire systems. They acquire vehicles of cash flow. They acquire things that keep working even when they don't. When Carnegie was building railroads, he wasn't building metal. He was building movement, systems, infrastructure. He knew the rails weren't valuable because they were long. They were valuable because they created flow. So ask yourself, what are you building? Are you building a monument to your ego or a system for your freedom? Now let's go deeper. Let's talk about the concept of converting, because nothing in life is static. A house that bleeds your wallet dry today can become a fountain of wealth tomorrow if you change its function. That spare bedroom, it's not just for guests, it's cash flow waiting to be activated. That garage, that unused backyard space, potential assets disguised by neglect. Every liability is just an asset, waiting for an entrepreneur to reimagine it. Walt Disney saw a swamp in Florida and imagined a kingdom. Henry Ford looked at a slow-moving horse cart and imagined an engine that moved the world. Assets are not born. They are created, crafted through intention, forged in clarity. So if you want to change your life, stop asking, what do I own? Start asking, what can I transform? The real value is never in the object, it's in its purpose. And the person with the courage to redefine that purpose becomes unstoppable. Let's be honest. The education system didn't fail to prepare you. It succeeded in preparing you for obedience. Obedience to a world of liabilities. They taught you how to earn, but not how to keep. They taught you how to work, but not how to build. They taught you how to spend, but not how to invest. And so generation after generation, people chase promotions, bigger houses, fancier cars, never realizing that they're just increasing the size of their liabilities and calling it success. But here's your chance to break that chain, to rewrite the code, to say, I'm done pretending liabilities are assets just because they sparkle. This is your wake-up call, your financial enlightenment. And it begins with mastering the 6 most powerful words in wealth: income, expense, asset, liability, cash flow. Etch them into your soul, because your financial destiny depends on them. Cash flow is not just a diagram. It is the bloodstream of freedom. It is the difference between surviving and soaring. You can have $1 million income and still be broke if your cash flows in and flows out just as fast. That's why NFL stars go bankrupt. Why lottery winners lose everything. Because wealth is not about inflow. It's about direction. Control the direction of your money and you control your future. Lose that control and you become a puppet, dancing for a paycheck, bleeding into a mortgage, trapped in a lifestyle you can't escape. But the moment you understand this, you become powerful, dangerous even, because now you see through the illusion. You see that the goal isn't to work harder, it's to make your money work harder than you do. That's the real economy, the one the textbooks forgot to mention, the one where your house makes money while you sleep, where your assets pay for your luxuries, where your liabilities get reprogrammed into income machines. You're not meant to be a slave to your possessions. You're meant to be the architect of your empire. And empires are not built on dreams. They are built on cash flow. And that's the truth most people are never taught. They walk into life with open hearts and closed eyes, buying houses they can't afford, chasing dreams that were never theirs, and believing that if they follow the rules, somehow they'll be safe. But the system was never built for your safety. It was built to keep you obedient, to trade your hours for a paycheck, to trade your freedom for false security, to trade your future for a 30-year mortgage on a house that takes and takes, but never gives. You think you own the house, but the house owns you. Every month, it takes a bite out of your soul. Taxes, insurance, maintenance, interest, all wrapped in a ribbon of illusion, sold to you by a smiling realtor who tells you it's an asset. But let me ask you this. If every dollar you earn flows out of your pocket and into something that doesn't give anything back, how is that an asset? Let's kill the myth now. An asset isn't what you own. It's what pays you. A liability isn't what you owe. It's what drains you. And until you see the world through the lens of cash flow, you will always be someone else's leverage. That's why financial literacy isn't a subject. It's a shield. It's not just knowledge. It's armor. And it starts with 6 words burned into your soul: income, expense, asset, liability, cash, flow. Most people chase income. They want a raise, a promotion, a side hustle. But the wealthy chase cash flow. They build machines that print money while they sleep. They create systems that feed them instead of feeding off them. They invest in assets that grow stronger even when they rest. And here's the irony. It doesn't start with millions. It starts with one moment, one question, one shift in mindset. How can I make this pay me? That's how you convert a liability into an asset. You don't sell your soul for more money. You make money serve your soul. Your car? Right now, it's probably a liability. It depreciates every mile. But could it be turned into an Uber machine, a delivery vehicle, a mobile billboard, your house? Right now, it's draining you. But what if you rented a room? What if you listed it on Airbnb? What if you bought a duplex instead, lived in one unit and rented the other? You don't have to be rich to think like the rich, but you do have to stop thinking like the poor. The poor believe in ownership. The rich believe in leverage. The poor seek comfort. The rich seek control. The poor look at price. The rich look at value. It's not about being born into wealth. It's about being reborn into a new way of seeing, a new way of thinking. And yes, even people can be liabilities, not in value, but in cost. A child, as precious as they are, costs time, money, energy, decades of your life. A spouse with no vision can become a financial anchor. Family members you love may someday depend on you not out of choice, but out of necessity. That's not judgment. That's reality. And ignoring it won't make it go away. So ask yourself, can you carry the weight of your dreams and the weight of someone else's collapse? Do you have the strength, not just of will, but of wealth, to become the pillar when others fall? Because if you don't, then you are a liability in waiting. You are a weak link in your own future. And no amount of passion or potential can save you from poverty if you don't master the game of cash flow. Look around. Empires are built not by those who work the hardest, but by those who control where the money goes. Carnegie didn't lift steel. Ford didn't tighten bolts. Walt Disney didn't draw every frame. They built assets, systems, structures, streams of income that outlived their hands and outlasted their bodies because they understood something simple but profound. Money must serve you, or you will serve it forever. That's the dividing line, not between rich and poor, but between awake and asleep. The sleeping man buys liabilities and calls them rewards. The awake man buys assets and calls them tools. So now the question is simple. Which one are you? You see, this game isn't just about money, it's about freedom. Because what is money really? It's not paper, not numbers. It's power. Power to walk away. Power to say no. Power to protect the people you love. Without that power, you're trapped. Trapped in a job you hate. Trapped in a relationship out of fear. Trapped in a cycle that kills your spirit and sells your time. But once you learn to build assets, once you learn to make money flow to you, not from you, you become untouchable. They can raise the prices, inflate the currency, cut your hours, fire your boss, but they can't take your cash flow because you don't live off labor anymore. You live off leverage. That's the secret. Not more effort, more intelligence, more intention, more ownership of your own outcomes. And it starts small. Don't wait until you have $100,000. Start with $100. Don't wait until the perfect property. Start with the perfect plan. Every dollar you touch, every possession you own, ask one question. How can I make this feed me? That laptop? Can it create content, sell skills, generate value? That phone? Can it run a digital business, an online store, a brand? That spare time? Can it be invested into skills that pay forever? Into knowledge that turns liabilities into leverage? Because you don't need more things. You need more returns, more multipliers, more assets that give instead of take. And yes, where some things are worth keeping, even if they don't pay. Love, joy, peace. But those are choices, not obligations. The problem is when we cling to liabilities pretending they're assets, just because we're afraid to admit we were wrong, afraid to change, afraid to let go. But evolution requires sacrifice. You don't rise with full hands. You rise by releasing what no longer serves you. So if your car is a liability, convert it. If your home is a burden, reimagine it. If your life is built on debt and consumption, rebuild it. Because here's the truth that no school, no boss, no bank will ever teach you. You don't need to be rich to start, but you need to start to ever be rich. And not just rich in money, rich in options, rich in time, rich in choices. The greatest wealth is freedom, and the greatest asset is you. You are the producer. You are the creator. You are the system. Your mind is the factory. Your body is the vehicle. Your voice, your vision, your value, that's the ultimate asset. But only if you invest in it, only if you sharpen it, only if you stop feeding liabilities and start building legacy. So here's your new mantra. I don't collect, I convert. I don't consume, I create. I don't work for money, I make money work for me. Because in this game, the one who owns the assets owns the future. The one who masters cash flow owns time. And the one who walks with purpose, builds with vision, and thinks with clarity never stays poor again.